What's happening? So today I'm going to look at a topic that I sort of really wanted to look to towards a few weeks, and sort of it's been on the top of my list. It's something I'm really passionate about, and that's fashion. And I'm seeing a lot recently where I think people are either playing it safe, following trends as such, and sort of not getting out their comfort zone and proper expressing who they are rather than what they're wearing. So the first question is, do people play it safe? And you see it all the time. You see it all the time. Some of my friends, their style is the corporate look, where they go to work in the AM and then they come out at night in the PM and they're in the same corporate look. Rather for me, where I would like to have the corporate wear. I would also like the gym wear. I would also like the outfit that sort of defines me. Where like I quite like a knitted jumper. I quite like baggy jeans. I quite like wearing a belt. I love living in shorts, and I'm on and off with hats and jewelry and stuff like that. Sometimes I ask myself, do people sort of express themselves in what they want to wear, or do they follow trends? And there's obviously heavy fast fashion with sort of cheap clothing where it's cheap and accessible, so everyone can wear it. It's also not really the way forward in terms of for the environment, in terms of for expression. And you see it. I've worked at Primark. I had to pay the bills. Do I sort of think that I would have my whole wardrobe as Primark clothes? No, I'll probably have the t-shirts because the t-shirts are they're decent. Where like they're just blank t-shirts, black t-shirts, white t-shirts, cream t-shirts. I've got them on my wardrobe because you sort of build that wardrobe up, and they're just sort of a nice underlayer. I think some people are sort of lazy with their fashion, and the points I'm going to make here are that they stay in their comfort zone. They might think that fashion is superficial, where they go, "I'm actually quite happy with what I'm wearing right now, and I don't really need to go exuberant in what I'm wearing, but I just quite like doing what I'm doing right now." Some people might also feel sort of disconnected from their own identity, where they sort of go, if I actually wore that and it was the first time I wore something crazy in front of all my friends and family, would they go like, "Oh, he's switching it up"? And would it sort of make me feel different to how I want to feel? So disconnected from my identity, rather when playing it safe, you sort of you get what you get, and you wear these clothes, and sort of that's everyone knows that is your thing, because although it is basic and sort of in your comfort zone, people know that's what you wear, so they sort of just correlate it to that's what he likes wearing, so that's all right. But I also think people don't realize how much power clothes have. When you sort of try something new and try and sort of step out of your comfort zone, these clothes sort of they matter because they people will look at you differently and they'll go, "Oh, he's putting in really good effort for this outfit today, and he's tried something new, and it's worked." And when it does work, people will look at it and go like, "That is really nice," and people will start having conversations with you about your clothes that you might have not actually had before. They might have not spoke to you about what you've been wearing before, but now they're like, "Oh, that is really nice," and they might go, "Oh, are you a scarf wearer now?" And like, "Yeah, it's my new thing." And you sort of got when you take power over what clothes you wear, you also hold the power in like, "Yeah, that's my new thing," and like people go, "Nice." People are afraid of expressing themselves. It's the fear of judgment and standing out, of sort of going over the top, when really, unless it's like mental stuff at the Met Gala, can you go over the top with sort of regular clothing? Not really. It's sort of just the style profile that you're carrying, where people go, "That is different." But really, a lot of the time with clothing as well, when it is like exuberant, people aren't judging you. They're actually like going like, "That is sick, and I want that." Most times I see people wearing stuff and I add it to my basket and I go, when I've got the money, do you know what? I might shell out on that because that was class and I would also look good in it. That's what I do. I see some people wearing stuff and I go, would I look good in that? Most of the time it's you got to have the belief that you would, and you go, "That is nice." Like, I don't really like wearing brands. Sitting here in a Nike t-shirt and an Under Armour hat and a night jacket. But it's different for sort of activity where it is just sportswear, where they're all branded to these top international athlete brands. But like in my normal wear, I don't really like wearing any logo stuff because it takes away from what I'm actually, the product that I'm wearing. It's stamped with like a logo that sort of isn't for me. I like graphic tees and stuff like that, but in terms of logos, not really. There's also the idea that people if they then step out of their comfort zone to try something new, they want the validation for people to go, you've tried something new here and it looks good, rather than sort of just owning what you're doing it yourself. They also ask themselves the question, is this the right way to dress? Will people look at it and go, oh, what has he done? Because people are afraid that there's a right or wrong way to dress when there's not. It's just the inner belief that you have in what you're wearing and how you style it out to sort of, yes, make sure your clothes fit. Like, have the baggy fit clothes, but make sure they actually do fit, because sometimes they will look silly. And I wouldn't judge anyone and go, what on earth are you doing? But I would in my head go, get some clothes that fit, because you've gone too far to one side of, I'm going to go for it. People also have the fear of being seen, where they've sort of, like I said, they've stayed in one style profile their whole life, and then when they then go for it, they are afraid that people are going to see that they've tried something new and don't fully grasp that that might be their sort of new thing, their new step in their life, where they're trying to try on new clothes, new colours, new styles, and then just see what happens. There's also the sort of term of, can we be too much? And I think over the last few years, and obviously I've already touched on fast fashion, we've sort of been like put down the path to sort of massively tone down what we're wearing, and we're sort of been put into that sort of boat where we all sort of need to look the corporate look. We also need to sort of follow policy. Oh, black tie event, why can't I wear what I want? Do you know what I mean? There's so many times when we're sort of forced to be in a dress code rather than being able to be expressive. There's also the thing of, if we go over the top, will people never forget? And they'll go, oh my God, do you remember that time when Ben's clothes were just nuts? And it can happen. And there's the fear. But ultimately, if you feel comfortable in what you're wearing, it should never, ever be a problem. We've also got to look at the side of owning our own style. We sort of need to explore, experiment, evolve in what we're wearing, not to follow trends, to sort of build up our wardrobe, build up our style profile, and ultimately dress how we want to dress. We need to let the clothes sort of reflect who we are rather than what's expected from us. We need to sort of start with that first piece in our wardrobe that we go, that is me clothing. That is proper me. For me, I quite like wearing short shorts, where they're sort of not normal leg shorts. They're like just a bit higher, or the jorts. I don't really like regular shorts. I like either bigger or smaller. Or eventually one day I can see myself getting into vests. I can see myself continuing to wear knitwear jumpers in the winter, crew necks over hoodies. I told myself as well a few months ago, you're not a zip up hoodie wearer. But then I found crop hoodies, and for what I wear with my jeans style and my size of t-shirt, these cropped hoodies with the zip, they were just like me all over. And I was like, do you know what? That's my new thing. That is my new thing. Trending or not, when you find a product which just screams it's you, just go with it, own it, and just run with your outfits and go like, yeah, I suit this. We also need to look at the line of fashion as sort of self-respect for ourselves. We sort of need to dress well for ourselves and sort of how we show up for ourselves first rather than the validation of others. There's the term of style versus trends, and the thing is, style on people or in a sort of thing, style stays, trends fade away, and ultimately, yes, wear trends because some trends are trends for a reason because they're absolutely class. But wear trends that match the energy that you want to bring rather than as a mask of sort of following the path that everyone else is doing rather than staying focused in what you want to wear. There's also fashion as the energy, like I've just said. Make sure that what you wear sort of sculpts how that you move day to day, how it sort of changes how you move. Step into the best version of yourself, starting with what you're wearing. We've also got to look at it how clothes are a key source of our confidence. Most people get caught up in whether people are noticing what we're wearing. And what I'll tell you right now is that nobody is really looking at what you're wearing every time you see them. And ultimately, it's more of the case where you wear something new and you tell your friends, do you like my jumper? Do you like my hat? Not the other way around, where they're going to pick a bone in what you're wearing and go, ugh, what are you wearing, mate? It rarely happens. And that getting over that boundary is sort of the first one to sort of gain the confidence in sort of just wearing what you want to wear. Your own authenticity is louder than others' opinions. You know who you are and what defines you as a person in terms of clothing and how you operate. And owning your authentic self, just it holds in much greater stead than what people have the opinion of you, of what you're wearing, of how you behave and stuff like that. And it all just comes together. Ultimately, style is like your signature. It's yours. It's no one else's. It's like forgery. If you copied my signature, it wouldn't be yours. It'll be mine. You need to show the world what you can't in words. So wear something that you can't really like in terms of carrying yourself, where like you would never say certain things, so people wouldn't expect you to wear certain things. But wear them clothes where you can't define it in terms of how you would talk about it, but you would just wear it because it's you. Wear what is you. Even, like I said, even if it's that corporate look from central London. Because if it's your look, it's your look. And we can't have a problem with it. Because, especially as well, if you wear that corporate look and you own it and you look smart in it, I'm all over smart cash. So I would be I would be the first one to say, do you know what, that is class. That quarter zip on you, that blazer, them trousers, them shoes, very nice. So ultimately, we can do both. We can play it safe. We can follow trends, but really we've got to look at fashion as sort of a way of self-expression, a way of building our own confidence in what we're wearing, in taking sort of pride in ourselves and showing up for ourselves. And the first thing we do when we show up for ourselves is getting ready for the day in clothes that we feel comfortable in.